Okay, here's a fun fact this morning. 70% of U.S. homes have some sort of pet, whether that be a dog, cat, or a small animal.
And because so many people have all those pets, a lot of people want to take those pets everywhere they go. KSHB 41 News reporter Dan Cohen shows us this morning how pets could be a bigger part of their human's life in the future.
There's a lot of opportunity for us to go to Berkeley Riverfront.
Much like the Main Street extension going south to UMKC, the streetcar has its sights set to the north on the river.
All of the development that's happening at Berkeley Riverfront is amazing. And then the addition of the Kansas City Current Soccer Stadium is just going to grow that area so much more.
A transit spine with a targeted debut in 2025.
Accessible, free fare, sustainable electric travel for all of Kansas City.
For all of Kansas City's humans. What about Kansas City's dogs?
We have a lot of pet-friendly residents on the alignment that they do ask, will dogs that are not service animals be allowed on?
The current policy allows for service animals on board. While the streetcar isn't looking at a universal pet-friendly policy right now, one company is starting that discussion.
We've already shown people that, we lead the forefront in sort of thinking about how we interact with our pets.
For 3 years, Barquet has brought humans and dogs together on the river. Now the company's founders see an opportunity.
I think there's a way to do the streetcar in a way that would be safe and overcome all the obvious objections.
Here's one idea.
One of the cars that would be specific for having dogs.
So those riders that are, not fans of dogs, they have allergies or they have a fear, they would know not to board.
Other ideas: limited routes, certain pet-friendly hours, and staffing, similar to Barquet's dog tenders who monitor interactions in the park.
Barquet would certainly be open to having conversations with Streetcar Authority on training those people, even cross-utilizing some of our existing people.
These are all brainstorms. A lot of legislative changes have to happen first.
The streetcar system is operated by the Streetcar Authority, but everything is owned by the city of Kansas City, Missouri, so they would have to be involved in changing any of the ordinances or rules that allow animals on board public transit vehicles.
But Barquet has started that canine on car conversation.
Kansas City can lead the way with this. Right now is the opportunity. Right now is the perfect time, especially as we have all this new construction going on down here.
We're living through a revolution in the way companion animals are perceived. We can safely coexist with these other beings in ways that were never thought possible.
And a key piece of that pitch here at Barquet, if this were to happen, is to help alleviate the parking situation along the riverfront, Ray and Taylor, because a lot of new apartments are being built right now. And we've talked about the construction of the Kansas City Current's new stadium, which would put an additional burden on parking here along the river. This is obviously years down the line, but that discussion has already started.
And Dan, tell us more about what one of the co-founders said about this revolution and how pets are perceived.
Yeah, if you really think about the last 10, 15, even 20 years, when I was talking to the founders, they talked about this timeline and how dogs have really been, perceived differently. They've gone from living in the backyard and being seen as property in a lot of instances to really being members of the family and really being companion animals. And even in the last year and a half, we've seen a huge spike in the number of adoptions during the pandemic, too. And that has obviously driven up business at Barquet. And they're looking years down the line if the streetcar eventually comes to the riverfront. They want folks who live south of the river to be able to bring their dogs here and not have to drive here too.
Dan Cohen live for us this morning talking about bringing your pets on the streetcar. Dan, thank you very much.